In Genesis 3, then, he curses the serpent and the woman and the man. So he curses all three parties. So that's another indication that Eve did something, you know. She beguiled Adam. And but there's something kind of interesting in these curses if you look at it. In verse 14 it says,
And the Lord God said unto the serpent,
Because thou hast done this,
and then down in verse 17 he says to Adam,
and unto Adam he said,
because thou hast hearkened unto the voice of thy wife, and hast eaten of the tree of which I commanded thee, saying, Thou shalt not eat of it.
so what you see then in verse 14 and verse 17, God's holding the serpent and Adam accountable. He condemns them for something they did. But in verse 16, unto the woman he said, I will greatly multiply thy sorrow. And he goes on from there. But he doesn't say, because you have done such and such, you know. So it's an interesting omission. And I think the reason is because the woman was not 13 when she did what she did. And people have to think on that a little bit. When Eve did what she did, the couple was only on the threshold of adulthood. But when Adam did what he did, they were 13. Have you ever thought about that?
We've talked about it before. He was on the verge of becoming a man, and I suppose Eve a woman. But as soon as they had sinned, they had turned 13. To match this, you seem to have this. You lack this innocence once you turn 13.
Yeah. And of course, this knowledge of good and evil is the whole reason I see their age in this anyway. A lot of people have never thought about their age, or they picture them as 33 for whatever reason.
To match the age of Christ, I guess.
Yeah. But it's this knowledge of good and evil that is the real reason I see it that way. And that is, it's in that passage in Deuteronomy.
Moreover, your little ones, which ye said should be of prey, and your children, which in that day had no knowledge between good and evil, they shall go in thither, and unto them will I give it, and they shall possess it.
And then it's in another famous little statement in Isaiah 7:16.
For before the child shall know to refuse the evil and choose the good, the land that thou abhorrest shall be forsaken of both her kings.
But the passage in Deuteronomy is the big one. I don't know, was that worth mentioning?
I think so.
I'll include that in the video. That's kind of neat. I don't know. A lot of people maybe never notice that when he's talking to the woman, he doesn't say, because thou hast done this, you know. So
I actually do remember talking about that to some extent, maybe not to that much detail, but to some extent, I did. I do remember where we had talked about the man and the serpent. They are cursed because of something they did, while the woman is cursed, but we never know what she did. I guess we do know what she did, but like God does not clarify what she did to cause her to be cursed.
yeah, that's true. We know what the serpent and the man did, but we don't really know what she did. What she said. I have an idea about what it may have been, but it's not clear in the story.
It's weird too because we know what she did, but it's interesting that God doesn't curse her for that reason. It is weird how it's omitted.
Yeah. But I think Eve must have desired family. I think whatever she said to Adam must have, I think her motivation must have been a desire for family. And the reason is because of the curse that comes upon her.
Now that I've never heard before. It does seem kind of strange. I mean, I suppose that definitely is a clue, that she would bear children but have pain in childbirth because of it. So I don't know.